A strange death in the subway tunnels of Boston brings Scully and Doggett in. Intense friction between local authorities and the FBI requires Doggett to head into the tunnels
while Scully watches things on the surface. Can they manage to solve the mystery and save lives while also battling what appears to be a cover-up?
It's not happening.
I have to send my time codes later.
That's not part of it. Hourglass, what?
Hey, welcome back, everybody. You're tuned into This Is Not Happening, another X-Files podcast with me, Andrew, and as always, joined by my good friend and X-Files encyclopedia man, Mike. Mike, say hello to the lovely people.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show.
Welcome back to the show.
We're going somewhere we've never really gone.
Yeah, we're going into high drama voices. We're going to act our character. No, actually, we're not doing that. I'm not going to do that. The last time I did characters, I got negative reviews.
You got yelled at.
Yeah, pulling it back. But yes, tonight we're going to talk about episode 12 of season 8, Medusa. This is another Frank Spotnitz episode. I'm just realizing he's written two back to back.
Yeah. He wrote The Gift, and now this one, and then he had another one in season 8, didn't he?
This boy was busy. He had stuff.
Busy.
They are doing a lot right now in X-Files land. They are filming the Lone Gunman spinoff series.
Mm-hmm.
They are, they're done with Harsh Realm now. So, I mean, that did not last.
That's over.
Yeah. But, and they're still cranking away with season 8, so they're busy, this crew. But I don't know if there's much to introduce on Medusa. I mean, it's Monster of the Week, directed by Frank Compton, who's done a couple other episodes for us. But
what I will say, and I'm just going to shout this out at the beginning of the episode, since we're about to start here.
I don't know. We can natter on for hours before we get into
the set on this episode.
Oh yeah.
Unbelievable. They actually built a not genuine, but pretty much genuine subway channel where they had this massive freaking set. All the stuff we're seeing from the opening to the end of the episode is something they've built. It's a huge, what do you want to call it? It's
construction.
Illusion of a large tunnel system, but
it's all done
the
on
landing and everything.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, the landing is freaking massive, and the train and everything they brought in, just excellent.
And I'm kind of wondering why. I mean,
because they had the money.
Well, Andrew. I guess they did have some money, but would it be easier to shoot on location in some, like, there are lots of subways across America and Canada. There are plenty of places where they do have, like, I know in Toronto there is a station that is abandoned, like it was designed and partially constructed, and they got very close, but then they decided to go a different way. So, it's there, and it's frequently used for films as a subway station. It's got tracks and everything, so like they could have just done a trip up to lonely old Canada and shot it there, but no, they used a whole soundstage to build this thing, and it does look incredible.
Yeah. It's unbelievable when you look at what you're seeing on screen and thinking that is 100% fake. So that's really cool, really well done.
Yeah.
And just gives this episode an authenticity that, yes, you could easily get on a subway station that you could rent out for a little bit, but they chose to go this way.
Yep. So the title of the episode, Medusa.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting stone statues.
I was expecting something else. I can't quite put my finger on it, but not this. I know when I think Greek mythology, I think subway systems.
And I think subway deaths when I think Greek mythology.
Electricity's up there. So it threw you for a little bit of a curve, did it?
Well, I
mean,
suppose...
you're making a joke. Oh. You did not literally think a snake woman was going to slither around with tendrils of snake hair.
I've learned enough to know that when they make titles for these episodes, they're not literal.
They're not direct.
Yeah. They're a creature the marine biologist does refer to it as a Medusa. So, it's on point, but it's not the point you think it's on. So, well, Mike, do we want to start actually talking about Medusa? Is it time for us to
head down the tracks,
look into the snake woman's face, and
yeah. I'm prepared to risk it.
You've got your reflective shield hand.
Stare it down.
Yeah,
I do.
Excellent.
It comes in the shape of a pop can.
Mike, we open on a subway station late at night. Specifically, this is Clay Street Station in Boston, Massachusetts. A man stands on an empty platform, your average white-collar pencil pusher, waiting for his train. Suddenly, in the background, another man emerges, dressed in black. Mark Snow's musical sting tells us this guy is up to no good, and he begins to walk around the platform, his eyes looking at the other man like a hawk circling its prey. The man in black, an urchin one would say, casually walks around the station, casting glances at the other man, who subtly mutters a message into his jacket collar. It's clear he's some sort of cop, describing the other guy as a fare jumper, and that it's a possible 1013. See what they did there? See what they did? The train comes into the station as the first man awaits and the other man watches. But as the first boards the train, he notes that the second does not. Looking around, he doesn't even see the second man. Officer Philbrick calls in an all clear and sits down. But behind him, we see the other man has boarded the adjacent train and decides to enter Philbrick's. Philbrick is a weird name. Who has the name Philbrick, Mike?
Yeah, it's a strange name.
Yeah.
But that being said, we didn't say shit about Hang a Mule last week. What the where do they come up with this?
Yeah, I gotta wonder. It's Spotnitz. It's all in his brain.
It's Spotnitz, yeah. At least these episodes, yeah.
The urchin walks slowly towards Philbrick, and Philbrick suddenly draws his gun. Suddenly, the train lurches to a halt, sparks flying from its wheels, and the two men are launched forward. Philbrick's gun goes flying, and he crawls desperately to retrieve it. The other man is close by, looking ominously to Philbrick. Then suddenly, the camera shows us the rear of the train in looming darkness, flashes, and a scream emanating from within the train, which continues ambling down the track. We got to another platform, the train entering the next station. A woman enters the compartment with other people, her expression changing to shock. She screams as she sees the body of Officer Philbrick, his head and body seemingly eaten away, showing bone and tendons. Credits. Well, Mike?
I like it. And not just because of the set. I think it's intriguing. I'll say that. We don't expect this to go quite like this. And the suspicious death, the electricity, intrigued. Yeah. So I'm on board, literally.
Yeah, I'm on too. It's interesting. I'm a little bit curious as to what the bad man's intentions were. Like, is this just a mugging and assault? I
think they had eyes on this guy, and he is a bad man that they were aware of.
Okay.
And they were luring him into an act of violence. This is called entrapment, Andrew.
Oh, how does that work, Mike?
It's where someone's going to do something bad, and you know they're going to do something bad if you put them in that situation. And therefore, you can arrest them.
That sounds morally ambiguous. I don't know if that's legal.
That's why it's not good.
Okay. And this happens, does it, in where you live?
Good old United States.
Okay.
It's not supposed to happen.
Well, okay. Well, that's interesting. I've learned something tonight. That's... Okay, I knew about entrapment. But I think it's kind of funny. All right, we fade back to the Transit Operations Center in Boston, 10:34 a.m. Work on subway cars is underway, lots of sparks and activity as Scully and Doggett enter the scene. They meet Deputy Chief Karras and Lieutenant Bianco, who greet them neutrally. They're late to this meeting, as Scully wanted to examine the body first. Karras doesn't mince words. He needs to know when the FBI will sign off on opening the subway back up, as they have 100,000 pissed off commuters who couldn't take the subway to work today, and they'll be even more pissed off if they can't take it home.
Train's running.
Sir, we appreciate the pressure that you're under.
No, it's you guys better kick it in the ass. The afternoon rush starts in 5 hours. Do what you got to do. But this line is going back in operation at 4 p.m.
I'm afraid you can't do that.
Oh, yes, I can.
You've got a dead man who's got over 1/3 of his body tissue completely eaten away. And until we figure out how and why, that tunnel cannot be reopened.
We understand the FBI's need to do a thorough investigation, but as I see it, the facts of this case are actually pretty simple.
Simple.
The train briefly lost power, during which time an assailant killed a Boston Transit cop. That man is still at large.
An assailant using what?
Acid? Lie? Your examination of the victim must have told us something.
No, it didn't. That's the thing. Until we culture the tissue and run the proper tests, we're not going to know what killed him or if it can infect others.
The Centers for Disease Control had robotic sniffers in the tunnel all night. They found no trace of biological or chemical agents. So let's clear this up. What we're looking for is a man, a cop killer. Single suspect.
At least that's your cover story. That's what you're telling the press.
The question is, can you get me the killer or an explanation in less than 5 hours? Because hell or high water, the subway reopens at 4 p.m. sharp. Now let's go.
Well, they are angry people.
There are some angry Bostonians and some pretty quality accents there, would you say?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. They hired well on this one.
They can deliver. No more Canadians posing as Americans since they moved to LA.
No.
So the four of them connect with two other people on the platform, Stephen Melnick, the chief structural engineer for the Transportation Authority, and Hilora Lyle, a doctor with the CDC's Special Pathogens Branch. Apparently, the CDC has already cleared the tunnel of pathogens, but clearly they are only so sure about that. Scully and Doggett share their credentials and experience. Scully, who has experience in equivocal deaths that can't be easily explained, and Doggett, who's just a good shot. As the group prepares to head into the tunnel, Scully tells Doggett he's going in without her, as she's not sure what's going on, but she thinks that it'll be better if she's topside and Doggett can be her eyes and ears. She hands Doggett a headset with an embedded camera so she can see and hear what Doggett does. All right, so that's our setup. How are we feeling about it so far?
They're splitting the agents up.
Yes, always a good choice, tactically.
I'm on board with it simply because I think the death was suspicious, and now we have immediate resistance with law enforcement, local law enforcement, and transit authority, whatever.
Yeah.
So it adds a level of tension, but also, all right. So I want to see how these two actually work together away from each other. This is a little bit different. I know we got a taste of it in Roadrunner, but it wasn't quite the same thing. They are now working together. Just at two separate places, so that'll be interesting.
I like me a deadline. I think it's pretty smart to lay on the ground rules that you can't just lollygag around. We got to get this sorted out sooner rather than later. This is another episode that Mike, I'm particularly fond of this particular format they've got here. The assemble a party, go into the wilds to find the monster. We have only got a couple of episodes that follow this format, and I'm thinking of The Jersey Devil, Ice, and Detour. Am I missing any?
Darkness Falls? Maybe?
Kind of. They assemble the party in, like, the party grows when they're there. There is definitely a sort of get to know you arming up sequence before they move in. And that's present in those episodes. A little bit in Darkness Falls, I suppose, but more so.
A little bit. In Ice, for sure.
Yeah, definitely Nice. And what did you think of Scully's decision to send in Doggett alone?
I like it, and I buy it on two levels. Obviously, she's pregnant. She can't put herself in many dangerous situations.
Yeah, I did clock that.
It's an underlying reason, I think. But I do also believe that she needs to keep an eye on Karras. He's an asshole. And I buy that she would want to be around him and make sure he doesn't do anything rash, or she is somewhere where she can make a decision, or hopefully make a decision that will stop the trains from running if it needs to be. Yep. So I can see that.
I like it too. In the Transit Control Center, 11:51 a.m., we get a tracking shot of the camera moving through the dim space filled with display panels and TV sets. Scully notes that the third rail has powered down, so there won't be a risk of accidental shock. Doggett and the team enter the tunnel floor, flashlights in hand, and Mike, I cannot help but be reminded of the movie Aliens, where Gorman is observing the action through a screen. I think this is definitely an homage to that. Am I off base? Did you see that?
No, not at all. I mean, anytime you see something like this, it's like, Hicks, take the upper level.
Yeah, that's right. So the team walks through the tunnels, noting the damp heat from within. Melnick notes that the ventilation system was shut down last night, so there's no fresh air coming in. Doggett wonders why they'd shut down the ventilation system, but really, Doggett? I mean, if there's a pathogen that's responsible for Philbrick's death, the last thing you want to do is blow it around.
No, you want to just keep it as normal. keep it risky. Keep it so everyone's on their toes.
That's right. Well, they continue to walk around the eerie space. Dr. Lyle stepping in a pool of water. The camera lingers on the puddle, revealing an eerie green luminescence, accompanied by a light crackle of electricity. As Scully checks in with Doggett, Melnick cries out in pain, falling to his knees. There's something on his neck burning. Dr. Lyle treats Melnick's neck. Doggett suggests that maybe they're looking for a toxic leak. So Dr. Lyle is sent back to collect a sample, and we have some ultra tense moments as Lyle is on her own. But not for long. Doggett goes back to keep her company. Did you catch this? Like, the music does this huge upswing as she goes back on her own. You're like, oh, she's about to get eaten.
They try to kind of lead you the wrong direction for a moment.
Yeah.
And it's, how is this going to affect? Is she going to disappear? What's going to happen to her? Is she going to die?
Yeah.
But it's only for a moment.
Oh, yeah.
And they kind of play with that a little bit.
She's too cute to die. And now, where have we seen her before? I've seen that actor.
She's actually the medical officer on Orville.
Oh,
that Seth.
Yeah. But I've seen her in other stuff. Surely.
Yeah, she's around.
Oh,
she's around for sure.
And the actor playing Melnick too. You've seen him.
Him. I was trying to place.
I think you've seen him on the show before too. I think he was a gravedigger.
Melnick?
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
He was the gravedigger in the Man Vat episode.
Oh, was he?
Patience. Yeah.
All right. Let me check.
I'm amazed I'm doing your job for you.
You know what? I haven't had to do it since they left Canada.
That's right. They've got a wider pool of actors to draw from.
They do. All right. Brent Sexton is Melnick.
The guy.
And let's see if I can locate the X-Files. Keep going, sir.
Oh, no. Sure. Okay. You can come back on that. We have some good technical stuff as Dr. Lyle drops some water into a device, which is apparently connected remotely to a terminal that Scully can run some analysis upon. Okay, this is not the greatest sin of this episode. I mean, this is actually fine. It keeps the plot running forward, but 2001, I don't know if this was the thing. But I
mean, let's look at it this way, Andrew. Mm-hmm. I'll give the episode a pass in Andrew argument, okay?
Okay. Talk me off the ledge.
Season 5 is 3 years before this. Yeah. They had satellites shooting lasers.
Oh, you have to exclude that episode completely from the canon. You cannot reference
No.
that
If they can accomplish that 3 years before this, they can send chemical analysis samples through the internet to upstairs.
You are not wrong, except Kill Switch does not count. Because if that's the case, then the answer is, why don't they have that shit in every episode?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, well, but this is from the point of view of Kill Switch aside. If I'm looking at that episode, if I'm looking at that piece of technology that Dr. Lyle has, and she squirts some water into it, and it's doing a thing, like what data is it transmitting to Scully that she has to do the analysis of it? Like
calcium breakdown, boron, radon.
Yeah. Is it just that they couldn't put a screen into Dr. Lyle's thing and Scully's just telling them what she sees on her big screen?
I think they just wanted it to be cool. And because Scully has to do something other than just babysit, they're like, we have to have a device that transmits to her.
And they need to do it in real time. Because I'll bet you in 2001, you're sending away the results to another lab and getting
almost
them back
as bad as,
4 to 6 weeks,
Yeah, almost as bad as trying to load a picture on dial-up.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I'm going to give that one a pass, if just for the sake of moving the plot along.
All right.
Scully recounts the results of the analysis: carbon, bromide, boron, and calcium. Dr. Lyle confirms it's just seawater. Scully says she'll send it to someone for a more detailed molecular analysis. Deputy Chief Karras, looming over Scully's shoulder, reminds her she's only got 4 hours left. Oh, things are really moving here.
Yeah.
So Karras is good as our deadline ticker. He's going to check in every once in a while and remind us that the plot's got to keep moving.
Keep moving.
Back in the tunnel, Bianco is kneeling beside the wounded Melnick when they see movement further down the tunnel. Bianco levels his MP5 submachine gun at the motion. I think this is a little bit overkill for the purpose, but hey, man, he's not going to.
It's cool.
He's not going to take any threats lying down. Got a cop killer down here. Melnick calls out for help. Doggett and Lyle return, but as they shine the flashlights into the tunnel, they see no one. Doggett decides they're going to find the guy, and the team marches on into the tunnel. I'm going to keep on going unless you want to inject anything at this point.
No, we're good. We're about to get to the action.
Oh, yes. Time for some action. Soon, Doggett discovers a side branch of the tunnel heading off into a decommissioned fork in the line. Karras relates that the line is obsolete and that going in there will only waste valuable time. So clearly, Doggett decides to take a look, despite Scully's light insistence that they don't have time to waste. Inside, there isn't much to look at. Doggett asks for people's opinions about continuing. Bianco wants to leave and press on the main tunnel. Melnick notes there are plenty of places to hide in here. Dr. Lyle doesn't get a chance to answer, seeing a form lurching towards Doggett and crying out to warn him.
Ooh.
The lumbering form of the urchin from the opening sequence runs out, barreling straight into Doggett and crashing us into our first commercial break.
But something is wrong with his face.
So a little action, but really it's just Doggett falls down. God, no way.
Well, they needed something to happen. They needed something to scare or at least interrupt the party going down here. So, yeah, here we go. And we're about to get to some gruesome visual effects here.
Some Fig Newtons.
Practical effects.
Fig Newtons and liverwurst, I believe, is the materials of the day for the innards of the dude. We come back from the commercial to the operations center, Scullet asking after Doggett. Doggett collects himself as the others look on. Finally, the cause of Doggett's pain is located. It's the urchin, now dead, who lies on the ground beside Doggett, his face and chest badly burned, similar to Officer Philbrick. Doggett's camera gives Scully a better look, and Dr. Lyle takes some digital pictures to send to Scully. Bianco declares this is the man who killed Officer Philbrick. Melnick wants to head out, saying he just saw something. Bianco decides he wants to wrap this up and head out. So Bianco is definitely not a let's stay in the tunnels man. And I can't say I blame him. This is a spooky hot place. But Melnick, undeterred, brings Doggett to what he saw. 3 male bodies wrapped in plastic wrap. Looking closer, Doggett notes they've been here a while. They've been stashed and they were likely squatters. Scully notes signs of the same tissue degradations of the other victims and thinks there might be a contagion after all. Karras does not look pleased.
Him and Bianca. I don't trust him at all. And I mean, they're playing him pretty hard.
It's not like they've given us any reason to, so yeah.
No, he constantly urges to go back to the surface, case closed. And he is... I mean, the gun itself is just turning him into a bad guy. When he keeps pushing to go end this and get back to normal, it's like, what do you know that you're not telling us?
You know what it is, Mike? The gun he's carrying is the H&K MP5, which, as we all know, is the bad guy gun from Die Hard.
Absolutely.
So that is the reason we look at him askew and go, oh, you're a bad guy.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Well, as Dr. Lyle takes more photos, she notes a shadow behind a tarp calling out to the others, who rush out to give chase back into the main tunnel. But as they reach the tunnel, whoever it was is long gone. Again, Bianco insists that they need to leave, and inside the Transit Operations Center, Karras gives Scully a hard time.
You're going to need to find them.
What are you doing, Agent Scully? Get those people out.
Those people just found 3 dead bodies, and I want to know what happened to them.
Look, they are in an obsolete, decommissioned tunnel. I'll get a crew down in there tonight after rush hour.
You don't understand. They could be infected and contagious.
With what? Seawater? You are being irrational here. The CDC says there are no contaminants. I'm going to take their word on it.
Then who are those dead men and how did they die?
They're probably tunnel rats, squatters, attacked by the same man who killed my transit cop.
Then take a look at the man who fits the description of your killer, okay? Just look at his injuries. He died the same way. There is something down there, and I am not going to risk bringing it up here before I figure out what it is.
Mrs. Scully.
Yeah.
What do you want us to do?
I want you to leave those bodies where you found them and go after whoever it is who's in that tunnel. We need to know whether he is causing this or if he's infected himself. Either way, he may kill more people. I'm sure Dr. Lau will agree.
All right, we just got our order. We're gonna continue on.
Says who?
Says the boss.
Just occurred to me, Mike, in her wonderful confrontation with Karis, I mean, always good to see Gillian Anderson chewing the scenery, angry Scully. But Doggett heard all of that screaming in his ear.
Could you tone it down a little bit, please?
I can see him just pulling the earpiece out of his ear while that was going on.
I've noticed through the X-Files, she cannot say the word figure.
Figure?
She says figure.
Figure. Well, we
figure it out.
There's a lot of characterisms in the things they say. Like Doggett's is anything. Like
anything.
The big A's.
Yep.
He didn't do anything. Had nothing to do with it. Nothing. Nathan. Anything to do with it.
Nothing at all.
Yeah.
Anything.
Anything to do with it. Yeah. So they've got some affectations, to be sure.
Yes, they do. They do. But yeah, I mean, Karis and Bianco are really ramping up how big of assholes they're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Bianco, I want to like him. I do. He's tough. And I don't mean like, oh man, tough. I just mean he's tough to like. And I know they're doing that on purpose, but man, he just, it feels almost season one-y to me with how hard they're pushing him. He doesn't trust Scully.
Yeah.
He doesn't like the fact that someone's upstairs telling him what to do when he knows better. And it's like, all right, calm down.
They do delve into season 1 and 2 territory in terms of how the plots are a bit simpler. Well, I'd say that the gift wasn't simple. This plot has a lot to do with original era Monster of the Week episodes. And yes, the sort of disrespect for Scully is pretty obvious. Like if it was a guy leading the investigation, maybe Karis would fall in the line.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say that is a little different from the earlier episodes is Bianco survives this episode. And
yes, he
really shouldn't, according to the basic structure of an episode.
The laws, yeah.
You know, when you prove yourself a dishonorable villain, your only way out of the episode is in a body bag. But yet he's going to survive this one. So interesting change.
Yeah, definitely.
So with that, the team walks on deeper into the tunnel. Bianco takes the opportunity to ask Doggett about Scully, and we get kind of a nothing scene here between them as Bianco buddies up to Doggett, unsure about who's in charge. I mean, we get his motivation. He doesn't like being directed by somebody he can't see. I mean, that's you're not high up in the chain.
You're an officer, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you take orders.
Yeah, you would think having a rank, that's how this works.
Yeah.
Anyway, soon enough, the party is closing into the spot where the train stopped. We see Melnick is now in great discomfort, scratching at the back of his neck, and he starts screaming for them to get it off me. A close-up shows us his skin is being attacked by something electrical. Green sparks exploding on his skin, eating away at him, showing us a gooey layer of flesh under the skin no one should ever be forced to see. Scully, thinking quickly, advises that they pour fresh water on it, which seems to actually halt the burning. Scully goes on, thinking that it might be some kind of chemical bioweapon. Melnick, shivering with pain, endures while Dr. Lyle treats him. Doggett and a reluctant Bianco will continue on to pursue what they now surmise might be a terrorist using a bioweapon. As Doggett charges off, Bianco takes a moment, examining his hand, which glows an ominous green from a patch of goo, and we fade to our second commercial.
It's that time, everyone. The Magus Media Production sales pitch. Please check out our homepage at magusmediaproductions.net so you can stay up to date on all of our shows. Check out our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Magus Media Productions, both of which have our Discord link on it, where you can join us for live shows as we record them for future release. At Magus Media Prods on X, our Patreon, patreon.com/Magus Media, where a $5 donation will help us keep the lights on and bringing you new content, and you get some stickers. Thank you for your consideration and support. This is where it gets a little interesting here. We weren't expecting this. At least I wasn't when I was first watching this episode. And even now, it's a little jarring watching his arm disintegrate, essentially. Very... I don't even know how to explain it, because you expect it to be a machine, or his arm's going to burn off and it's metal underneath or something, just because of all the sparking. I don't know. But this is an interesting dissolution of human skin, and so very intense.
This is Frank Spotnitz seemingly fully on board the Howard Gordon train of season 2, where everything is dialed up. Like, there are no small reactions. Like, his arm is literally kind of mini exploding.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine a creature like this in real life, yes, maybe it could be kind of acidic, but it would probably be a light reaction over a long time.
A lot more subtle.
Yeah, a lot more subtle, but not here. This is super reaction.
I mean, this was casting shadows.
Yeah.
Which is pretty insane when you think about it. Like, his arm is a firework lighting off.
Yeah.
So. And
I guess I don't really understand. And to the episode's credit, it's good enough. I don't need to unpack it. Like, I would, if I was suitably interested, I would unpack it on I'm curious to know how this actually would work in Frank Spotnitz's mind, like what he imagined it to be. But like Scully, I'm going to blow this open right now. She figures it out that sweat is seeming to be an activating factor, but they're all hot and sweaty. So
yeah. Not 100% sure how this really works.
Yeah.
We can cover that. I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm not even going to bother.
If he thought of that until the end of the episode.
Well, the other thing is they seem to forget the solution that Scully seems to happen upon with the fresh water. Like, she mentions it and that it seems to make the threat go away. But yet later on, when Doggett sees the goo on Bianco, he doesn't like, we should really wash that off. He's just like, right. I guess we're fucked.
We're back to square one.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to come back now at 2:23 p.m. as a hazmat team is pulling Melnick out in a little plastic tent. Dr. Lyle is now in full hazmat gear. They're off to the CDC to be treated. Scully looks over to see a squad of hazmat-wearing dudes rushing off with the 3 squatter bodies, and only by some fast running in heels is she able to head them off. She orders them to stop and explain themselves, as the bodies are supposed to head to the CDC for examination. Karras explains they're on a deadline fast approaching. Scully sees through his gambit to hide the bodies and redirects the bodies to be sent to the CDC as she requested, and Karras watches on in silent frustration. Scully accuses Karras of knowing about the bodies and demands he supply her with inspection reports. He agrees, but we end this interaction knowing that wily old Karras is going to engineer things so Scully's not going to find a goddamn thing. I mean, Karras is turning into the guy.
I knew I didn't trust this guy.
Yeah.
Knew I didn't trust him. He's hiding this. He knew.
He knew. He covered it all up.
And I'm realizing now, watching it with you, how much of a resemblance to F. Emasculata parts of this episode seem, like with the
structure.
hazmat team carrying out the body, avoiding Mulder and not talking to him and loading him onto a helicopter.
I do like, though, that they do defy that callback by having Scully stop them.
Yes.
And be like,
yes.
Where are you going? No, this is
Where
not
are you
happening.
going? And she's able to directly ask at least someone,
Yeah.
what they're doing.
He doesn't get to answer because he doesn't have lines. So that's
Not
where
ready
the Karis come back in. All right. Back in the tunnel, Bianco and Doggett continue inside, flashlights shining, as they enter an abandoned station. The place identified as Scully as the likely hiding place of their runner. Doggett can't race Scully as Bianco again presses that they should leave. As they look through the station, Doggett sees something on Bianco, the green luminescence on Bianco's face and hands. Bianco laments that they should have left, but Doggett underscores that now, more than ever, they can't leave. If they have the contagion upon them, Bianco decides to leave and Doggett steps up behind him, cocking his gun ominously. Bianco stops, knowing that Doggett would shoot him. Doggett orders Bianco to put down his weapon, and Bianco complies. As Doggett goes to retreat the gun, Bianco kicks sand in Doggett's face, then kicks Doggett in the face. Doggett goes down hard, and I have used Doggett's name no less than a dozen times in this paragraph.
You have used it a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of hard Ds. I like the scene.
Oh, it's a good scene.
I like Doggett standing up to Bianco. And then it's just the icing on the cake of Bianco's character. You'd do it, wouldn't you?
Yeah. And
Of course you'd say that. But because Doggett, he has given you every reason to think he's a murderer.
John Doggett, really, sometimes he's just terrible at hand-to-hand combat, it would seem.
Yep.
Well, back with Scully, who is now finally on her headset. She cannot raise John Doggett. She sees that the camera on his head is pointed at the ceiling of the tunnel. That can't be good. Frustrated, she throws her headset away. The new character enters the operations center. Dr. Kai Bo has joined the chat, a young black woman and marine biologist who has completed her analysis of the seawater. Dr. Bo brings up an image from a stereo microscope, which looks like a bunch of little jellyfish.
This is an image taken from a stereo microscope of what's called a Medusa. Your saltwater sample was rather deceiving. Its components are exactly as you'd expect, except for higher levels of calcium. This creature is primarily that.
Calcium.
Yes, it's what powers its movement and gives it bioluminescence.
So you're saying that this is a sea creature? Which is why the CDC missed it.
Well, it's hard to find. I dare say I'm not even sure if it's of the sea, but wherever it's from, it's quite incredible.
It's killing people.
How?
I don't know. There is seawater in that subway tunnel, and it's eating people's flesh off. It's producing some kind of a reaction that looks almost electrical.
On contact?
No. Something triggers it.
Have you been in the tunnel?
No, I have not. But my partner is down there, and I fear the worst.
Doggett.
We cut back to the abandoned station as Bianco tries to escape, calling out through a boarded-up hatch for anyone to come and get him. But his cries are unanswered, and he can't break down the boards. We see that Doggett is still knocked out cold.
Not much of a man.
What's that?
Not much of a
Man,
man.
he doesn't really try that hard to get out. I mean,
Come on.
probably could shoot his way out.
Yeah. What the hell?
It's a fake gun, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Bianco leaves, and we see the same green luminescence is now on John's face. Oh no, he's on borrowed time. And we fade out to commercial. We're back with Doggett now. Scully trying to raise him through his headset. Eventually, Doggett rouses to Scully's great relief. Doggett reports that Bianco is missing, leaving out the fact that he actually attacked him. I thought that was an interesting touch. And the camera shows us the green glow on Doggett's skin. As Scully tells Doggett she's going to send in a hazmat team for him, Doggett heroically disagrees, saying he's got to find Bianco in order to stop the spread of the contagion. Scully asks Dr. Howe to tell the CDC everything she's found as Karis arrives. Scully tells Karis to close off all the exits from the subway, as an infected Bianco is trying to escape the tunnels, but Karis won't do it. Can't do it. There are already passengers waiting on the platforms. Scully, shocked and pissed off, lets Doggett know about the new wrinkle that they have. They've got 20 minutes before the trains are going to start running. Scully warns Doggett that the organism on his skin could be activated by anything. Suddenly, Doggett sees something. It's Bianco, who's lying on the ground. He's been injured, the green luminescence evident on his skin. Doggett asks for direction from Scully. She tells him to get out of there. Save your own skin. She'll send in a hazmat team for Bianco. But with a plea from Bianco not to leave him, Doggett just can't shed his honorable exterior, and he carries the traitor out. So listen, if we haven't seen it enough in this episode, Doggett is clearly the goodiest of good guys. Am I wrong?
Well, no, you're not wrong. And I appreciate that about him. I really do.
Yeah.
Obviously, not even Mulder would leave this guy to die. But, you know, well, come on.
If he's being chased by aliens, maybe like, I'm sorry.
Maybe, yeah. I'll leave you. I'll be back.
I'll be right back for you.
I mean, it sucks that Bianco had to be so unlikable, and now he gets saved by Doggett, which I'm fine with. And I'm always on board with a bad guy who comes around, which I don't know that he does, but he needs help. So now he's being nice.
He does need help. Well, soon enough, the duo encounter a shadow at the tunnel, the mysterious visitor they've been seeking. Doggett confronts the figure, who does not run this time, but rather comes into view. Is this a terrorist, a man Medusa? No, Mike, no. It's a boy, but he doesn't talk. Rather, the boy points further up the tunnel. The boy shows no signs of infection, his dry skin showing the final clue to Scully. Perspiration is a conductor for calcium ions, which promotes the chemical-electrical reaction. The boy's sweat glands aren't fully developed, so he's immune. Well, that's a good little...
Apparently so is everyone else.
If you just wipe it off.
That's probably the weakest part of this episode. Like, the answer to the problem is also casting doubt on the entire episode.
Well, it's very flippant as far as the activation goes, because clearly everybody's been sweating.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Doggett's face is shining half the episode, and it's like, all right, it's still shining when he's got the green stuff on him. So,
and you're telling me I just wipe off my face and I'm cool?
You're good.
I mean, I guess I didn't bring a towel with me. There's no way.
Apparently, you have to think about being hot in order to have it activate.
Yeah, it's a bit weak, but anyway. And the kid himself, I don't get the character. I don't understand why it's important, but he is literally going to lead us to the next plot point, so let's let him do it. The boy tears off, offering for Doggett to follow, so Doggett does, leading into a nearby tunnel where water pours in, the walls streaked with green goo. A big leak in the ceiling is letting water in from the bay. The kid walks right through the stuff towards a tunnel in the main system 400 yards from an access point. Scully hatches a plan to get a hazmat team to meet them there. So Doggett and Bianco lumber towards the exit, walking through the green goo back into the main system. Doggett focuses on the green liquid pooling along the subway track, but Scully notes that Karras has activated the subway to start service, and trains are now hurtling towards Doggett and Bianco. In the distance, Doggett can see a train approaching and sees the dangerous third rail nearby. As Scully orders Doggett to evacuate, we have another instance of Doggett putting the lives of others above his own. As he notes there are people on the train. The implication, if the train goes over the goo, it'll spark another flesh-destroying reaction. Again, it's not clear the electricity angle, like perspiration, electricity, but, it's there. We know subway and goo means death, so it's happening.
Yes.
Doggett has an idea. As the train hurtles towards them, he takes Bianco's submachine gun, jamming it into the green goo and leaning it precariously on the third rail. Just before he's run over by the train, he lets go of the gun and it connects the third rail to the main track, creating a giant spark. His transmission crashes the static, and Scully loses him. Has he been run over by the subway? Has he, Mike? Has he?
Yes.
Yes, exactly. Yes. End of John Doggett. Heroically saving others by
He's not going to die in the last episode. He's not going to die here.
He was literally shot to death in the last episode. Like, this is child's play comparison.
Yes.
All right. Scully and Dr. Bowe wait for any sign of life as the subway passes by, but Doggett's fine, having jumped aside at the last moment. He looks back to the subway line, and we see the final sparks of the green luminescence disappearing. The green glow on his own hand has also disappeared. Apparently, the entire threat is just uniformly gone all at once with one...
All done.
Yep. It's just completely removed. That is the best extermination possible.
I'm not even sure I fully understand it.
Me neither. Me neither.
What did the gun do?
So it's made of metal, arguably.
Yeah, arguably.
And his idea is combining the third rail with the track and the goo all in one. So a spark is electrifying the water.
So because it came into contact with the track, it sparked some. Okay.
That's as clear as I can make it. And since the water's all connected back to that first source, my guess.
It's all good. But they weren't hit.
No, they were...
Not nary a spark touched their skin.
Well, no, I think they were nearby because their luminescence is gone. They're all fine again. Ozone in the air or something. I don't know. Or they wiped themselves off when we were looking. Listen, all the answers are there. All right, ready for the wrap-up?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Later on at Boston General Hospital, Doggett presses his call nurse button several times, getting no response, and standing up to leave as Scully enters. She's got good news. He's fine, clear of the organism. He's free to go. As he starts to change into his duds, we get the epilogue on the others. The kid is with social services, the plastic surgeons are working on Melnick and Bianco, and Dr. Lyle has been discharged. Doggett wants to pursue an investigation against Karras and the others, recklessly endangering people's lives. Unfortunately, Scully shows Doggett her file. There's no proof of any danger. The organism has been completely destroyed, presumably by the electrical discharge set off by Doggett. Scully reiterates no criminal charge is going to stick. These guys were just doing their jobs, trying to keep the trains running on time. And after some reassuring words, the duo heads home. End of episode. All right, Mike, what are your final thoughts?
It's a fun episode. I do enjoy the fact that we are in kind of a new scenario that the X-Files hasn't been in. You know, the subway system. That's interesting. I do like the practical effects of the episode. I will say the biggest complaint for me is just that it doesn't seem to make much sense when you... Okay, the indicator, the catalyst for this is sweat, and everyone's sweating. And then it's only when they realize that a child is down there and whatever loose science means that his sweat glands haven't fully developed leads them to this explanation. But it doesn't explain why none of them are bursting into flames. So I enjoy the episode. It's fun. I don't understand why Halora Lyle gets fired.
Fired?
It's discharged.
Oh,
or do they mean discharged from the hospital?
They mean discharged from the hospital.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. This whole time I've been thinking she gets canned. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Maybe because she didn't accurately identify the pathogen. You know.
Well, that's what I was thinking
the
they were
CDC
going for. I'm like,
bus.
but it's not her fault. I don't know.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Overall, the episode's fine. I'm okay with the splitting up of the two agents. I like that. We see that with Mulder and Scully. We're seeing it here. They're working well together as far as it goes. I just wish it came together a little bit less confusingly. I'm not a huge fan of the resolution on this episode. Happens kind of quick, and without the mole child, I don't know. Little loose here. So this one's definitely got some issues.
It does. I share your feelings about the nature of the threat and how it works. I will say I like it more than the gift. That threat.
Really?
Yeah, in terms of how the villain works, or how the supernatural element of it works. I guess I believe this more than I believe the gift, because I'm like, that's just like barf magic.
Barf magic.
Yeah, ultimately.
Well, that's fair.
But I'm a sucker for this kind of episode, I've learned. The agents teaming up with new characters, and the band of personalities head out into the unknown to seek out danger. Like, that's not it's not territory they explore well. But when they do, it seems to work. Like, especially if the characters don't seem to get along and they are forced to work together. It's good stuff.
Because you have personalities that you're not used to, and you have to spend time with them along with the agents. And I think it's a really dynamic way to do the episode. In fact, Libby and I just watched Ice last night randomly.
Yeah.
And it's the same situation where you've got people that you're supposed to be working with, but your attitudes and your characteristics just clash.
Yep.
And I think this episode is good. I enjoy it. It's just I'm a little upset with how weird the ending is and what the explanation is. I wish there was some reason other than just sweat, because it just casts doubt over everything. It's like it opens and shines a light on you really just needed to get to the end because there's no way to explain how any of these people survived this.
Well, first of all, I'm surprised they do, because like in a younger episode, in a season 2 episode, Bianco doesn't survive, Melnick doesn't survive.
Right.
Those are corpses to the body count.
Right.
You can't kill off Hilary Lyle because she's a lady, but you can give her some serious wounds, and that's about as far as you can go on Fox. But I agree with you. I wish there was a better way. I can't even imagine what that would be.
I just think making the catalyst something else. They had to figure something out. And I'm not saying it's not creative. It is. I believe what Scully is saying, that this would ignite this or conduct with this, whatever. That's fine.
Yeah.
Science stuff, I don't know for sure, but I'll believe it. I just think that sweat was not the answer, because it just makes it very wishy-washy with the rules, and it just weakens the episode. I like the episode, but then you get the explanation. It's like, I don't know.
It reminds me of Aguamala, mostly for the water elements, I suppose, but also for the grand reveal, like the piecing together of the plot, and then suddenly there's the realization, and then we're pretty much straight out into the end.
Yeah.
And the worst part, I think, of the episode is that they have the solution. Like Scully randomly says, pour fresh water on it, and that seems to stop the reaction on Melnick. And it's like, that's the answer. Why have you just now forgotten about it mere seconds later? So it's like they needed the plot to sort of move forward, but then stop, maybe pull back a little bit so you forget. It's that classic case of if you move fast enough and don't think about it, then the episode makes sense.
They should have brought that back, and they never did.
Yeah.
So be like, have her say, pour fresh water on it. It seems to work. You just kind of blow past it. You don't even think about it. But then bring it back and be like, that's what it is. That's the answer for whatever reason science gives us. That is the reason. So we need to do something like that.
And then that finale can resolve the episode. Doggett pulling Bianco and the kid into a pool of fresh water, some reservoir, as the train goes by and ignites the charge, and there's a fireball as the Medusa organisms are completely consumed, and they're in the fresh water, immune, and then they pop up from the surface, and Scully's like, Doggett, no! It's like, I'm fine. We're just taking a bath. I don't know. Something like that.
And then he gets arrested.
And then he drowns.
But yeah, overall, I like the episode. I like the friction between Doggett and Bianco.
Yep.
A little heavy-handed, but I'm okay with it in general.
Absolutely no reason for Doggett to save Bianco. I mean, that guy.
Well, aside from being a decent human being, you're right. No reason. All right, Andrew.
Yeah, that's that. So
that's that.
We have made it through another one. Thanks for sticking with us. And Mike, if you would like to see us out by giving us your closing words.
I'm just going to say, if you weren't annoyed and wary of subways in general this episode will push you over the edge to find a cab or an Uber or something. Maybe even just ride a bike to your destination in Boston or large cities. Be careful out there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you liked what you heard, please rate and review on your podcast app of choice. Andrew and I would be eternally grateful to you fine people for helping us expand and get the word out. Also, we've got a killer group on Facebook. Feel free to join in on the discussion at facebook.com/groups/thisisnothappeningpod and become an official member of the syndicate. We do polls and we have questions for every episode to give you guys the opportunity to chime in and possibly let your voice be heard on our recordings. And please join us on our new Twitter at tinhxfilespod, no dash, to stay up to date on everything, moment to moment. Thank you, and remember, don't stop swimming.